You're listening to the Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You are listening to the Chartographers.
Let's go!
It's a music-loving podcast for music-loving people where we take every single album by a particular artist and we rank it worst to best and just forget about the rest. The rest are the soundtrack cuts, the Will Butler solo albums, the reflektor tapes, all that stuff. You don't need to know. But hey, listen, season 2.
What's up?
Off to a goddamn amazing run. We're nearing the end right now. We went with the classic and the thing about contemporary. Sometimes get to see him live. And weirdly enough, every person in the studio here was at Lollapalooza 5 days before we recorded this when we saw the band in question do a closing set for the entire thing. And it was a very glorious and fascinating experience.
It was excellent.
Yes, and the reason when you get to the point where you were the closing night headlining set of Lollapalooza, you fucking went through the trenches, man. You built up something from scratch, and that's amazing. And we are talking about that very band right now, today. That's right, guys. You know it. You love it. We're talking about the one, the only, the band whose singer, Regine Chassaing, is the only other person aside from DJ Khaled who can say, all I do is win. That's right, guys. We are talking about the Arcade Fire. Woo! Bell Orchestra, if you're nasty.
Whose man is this?
Taran is in disbelief over all of this. Listen, I was very happy with that one. That was really solid.
My favorite part is how much we talked about how you pronounce her name.
I know.
Yeah, can you say that for me one more time?
And you definitely still did it.
I know. It's just Regine Chassaing.
Chassaing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So,
don't have that.
I'm going to edit that together later.
We
It's
don't
gonna
have that
be-
weird end sound in
Chassaing.
English, so
Right.
we're just not even going to try.
It's
So-
French. Chanson.
The
Chassaing.
Arcade
Chassaing.
Fire. Croissant. This is terrible. The Arcade Fire, they are a band from Texas by way of Canada, by way of Haiti. And the thing is, they are a group that got together initially through Win and Regine's shared love of music. Apparently the first time they ever really met privately, they wrote a song together. Headlights Look Like Diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
And they then wound up later getting married, but they also formed a band around them too, involving Will Butler and Richard B. Perry, a whole bunch of other people together too. And the thing is that they put out music and it was fine, but it was only until 2004 when Funeral, their debut album, hit. It's not the fact that it arrived, it was a fucking nuclear explosion. In a single, zeitgeisty moment, they redefined what indie rock sounds like. They kind of defined that sound for a decade, basically, and have gone on different directions over there since then.
I mean, they used the millennial woe.
Yes, they did.
On Funeral in multiple places. I actually hadn't even think of that till just now.
Yeah.
They sort of originated that sound, and then it just kept getting more
bigger
and
more poppy, right? And the thing is that, so it was an iconic album, but is it their most iconic album? That's what we're gonna debate when we rank their albums on the Chartographers. Who are the people doing the ranking? Let me tell you right now. First off, there is, of course, me. I'm Evan Sadi. You might know me as an editor over at Pop Matters. You probably know me as the host of this podcast. And if you know me as the host of this podcast, then you know the person sitting next to me, the Regine to my Will. Will. Let's go with Will.
No, why are you...
Will has the Oscar nomination.
So what?
That's right, guys.
When's the important one?
The co-founder of the entire podcast, Taran O'Reilly.
Why would I be the Regine to your Will? It doesn't make any sense.
I was.
So I'm your sister-in-law?
I mean,
That's questionable.
I know, exactly. Yeah,
we're...
you can't date my Oscar nomination though. But listen, it's a whole thing that we got to get into it.
Pan right there.
I know. Not our best episode, guys, I'm telling you.
Yes.
But guess what? The one thing that's going to pump us up, the one that's going to bring us a little bit of light here, the guy, the dude, the man himself. He is one of the songwriters of the band Northern Territories. He is also one half of the group, the Ramen Noodle Boys. Every word I say, he is doing a physical gesture in the studio, too. It's kind of amazing.
So much hype.
I wish there was a camera right now. I wish you could see all the hype.
Premium subscribers get the video podcast where you can see the physical hype machine that is Ryan Donahue right here, right now in studio. Ryan,
what's up?
how you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm feeling great. We're about to talk about Arcade Fire. I've been waiting for this moment
For a while.
for my entire life.
Well, wow, that's
I didn't even know.
You're burning us with great expectations, and that's fantastic. I love it too. Well, also the only reason that you're here is also because you kept talking about wanting to do an episode where you rank Chance guest verses.
Still waiting on that episode.
That's
coming soon, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Your boy's Ryan's got you. Shouts out Young Ryan Say Peso. Follow me on Instagram. At Young Ryan Say Peso 14.
You got this. Young spelled Y-U-N-G.
I'm so sorry that we're
I know.
doing
Why
this.
did we invite you in the studio? All right. So, but guys, listen. We're talking about the Arcade Fire, and the great thing is that when we recorded this, it was also not only 5 days after we saw them at Lollapalooza. It's a week and a half after they put out their 5th full-length album. So it is fresh and new. And normally we want to give things a little bit of time to settle before we kind of get down. I got to be honest. I have my head pretty well wrapped around this album. I have a lot to say.
I don't need time to let it sit.
It's weird. There's some albums where you need it to sit for a while.
Right.
Example, New Vic Mensa album. Took me a couple weeks. This Arcade Fire album?
I kind of, it took me a little bit to... I got it pretty easy. But then again, they also had a very interesting lead-up hype campaign for it, too. Yeah. That was kind of annoying in a lot of ways, too. So you kind of got a sense of the stuff pretty easily on. I feel like I've known these songs for a lot longer than they've actually been out. But guys, we're gonna...
it helps that all the best songs were released weeks before the album was released.
Shh, we haven't got to the remake yet. But listen, so at the very least, there are 5 albums that we could talk about. There is, of course, the debut Funeral from 2004. There is, of course, the slightly darker and moodier Neon Bible from 2007.
That's on the album.
There is the Album of the Year Grammy-winning The Suburbs from 2010. There is the slightly disco-fied Reflektor from 2013. And there is the somehow even more disco-fied Everything Now from 2017. Now, 5 albums, that's a pretty good thing. We can usually rank nicely. But there is a little misnomer that we need to talk about there, and that is the 2003 self-titled EP, Arcade Fire. It's 7 songs. It's all, and again, it was literally just an EP. They sold some copies here and there, but once Funeral hit, all of a sudden the back catalog kicked in, and for a lot of people, I want more. It happened to you, Taran, right? You got Funeral, and you're like, I need more Arcade Fire music, and here's the only other thing that was available.
Yeah, and it was available publicly. I mean, after Funeral hit, they reprinted it, I believe in 2005, and I mean, I think I got it at a Barnes & Noble.
Right, yeah.
Sounds all right.
Yeah, because the hype train on that thing was just huge and gigantic, and so the question is whether or not we include it. Now, the one thing I'll say, we normally don't include albums that have a song carryovers. There's only one song carryover, No Cars Go. They did it on Neon Bible, and they did it here in 2 drastically different versions, I would say. Personally, it's still the band forming. It's still a lot of their hallmarks and trademarks.
I mean, there is a slight argument against it in that they replaced half of the band after this EP was recorded.
Yeah.
But it's still Wynn and Regine and Richard Reed Parry, who I feel is probably... He's got a decent, creative control happening. Yeah. So I think I would like to rank it partially just because I do have a sort of nostalgic connection with it. But
okay. But Young Ryan Save Peso's in studio right now too.
Can we not call him that?
I like it. I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I have many nicknames. That's the one for first and foremost. I got Lil Ichiban. We also got Young Ryan. Anything you want to call me?
I'm sorry, Lil Ichiban?
Lil Ichiban, man. Also Young Magneto, because people think I look like Michael Fassbender, so we got that going for me.
You do bend fast.
But
you
a
do bend
better
real
one.
fast.
I think I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
Hey, Fassy.
Young Magneto.
Yeah, not Fassy.
I'm going to use Fassy.
Young Van Persie.
Hey, but Fassy.
Right.
What are your thoughts on including Arcade Fire EP in the actual ranking?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a fan of it.
But I mean, I understand. And the thing is that, I understand not being a fan of an artistic intent, but in terms of ranking it in their discography.
I mean, honestly, listen, guys. Taran, you kind of alluded to it. It's still kind of in their formulative period. For me, yeah, it just doesn't feel like I listen to Old Flame, for instance, the first track, and Will Butler's still hasn't really found his vocals. He's almost
oh yeah, I mean there's no mistake about that.
It just it just seems so far removed from Funeral and the rest of the stuff that comes after it. To me, it almost just doesn't make sense for it.
I understand that argument. I do. Mm-hmm. I also feel as a 7-track album that clocks in close to a half hour, it feels like a fully formed artistic statement. Now you can argue about how well formed it is and how quality it is. Personally, though, I would be in favor of throwing it in the ranking. just because I feel like it speaks to a lot of where they came from and what they tried to do, and like I feel like that is worth in the discussion of their total artistic achievements. I feel like it is at least looking at their starting point is I think a valuable facet of that.
Let me ask you this: I mean, do you think of it as an LP, or do you think of it along the lines of an EP, or the Los Campesinos EEP?
Okay, so the Los Campesinos EEP I think is an EP, but let me just say that in the studio right now I have all of my CD albums because I'm a fucking nerd like that, arranged chronologically from when I bought them, so I know when I got into things. It's great. But I actually keep Arcade Fire EP as part of the album lineage. I have a separate thing for EPs. That's just what I do. Well, listen.
I consider it an album.
Yeah, so listen. And also, there's 3 people here, so I think we just outvoted you. We're going to be... No. I think it's actually really good because we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay. We can still talk about it. Yeah, there's plenty to talk about.
You're so agreeable. I love it.
I have to be.
Exactly. But hey, listen. So that's 6 albums, Arcade Fire, Funeral, Neon Bible, Suburbs, and Reflektor, Everything Now. Guys... Let's get into it. We're all going to go ahead. We're all going to nominate things. We're going to have a debate. And the thing is that I would say that we've all been pretty open to opinions there. A good argument can change your mind either way. But guess what? Ryan, you are the guest. You are the guest here. I'm very happy that you're here. I'm happy about how hyped you are right now. As you are always, perpetually. As our listeners have heard.
Perpetually hyped.
So the thing is, I know that you were just kind of ragging on it right now, but I really want you to consider all the other things that we're up against now. And I want you to give our honest assessment. Just nominate it. We're not ranking anything yet. Yeah. What would you nominate as the worst Arcade Fire album?
Man, I mean, it's really going to be a carryover of what we just talked about.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's the EP, and it's not a bad EP. It's just it's a formulative period for Arcade Fire. They're not yet really Arcade Fire in my mind when they're doing this. You know, I see No Cars Go like that even that kind of first version of that song is Arcade Fire to me, but like I said, I listen to like Old Flame and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know, like there's some really nice songs on here.
What are your favorites? Your favorite No Cars Go ones?
Let's see. I really like Headlights. Look Like Diamonds. I think that's nice. My Heart Is an Apple. Really nice ballad. I think this is a really nice sort of, like, hey, that band you might listen to at like your favorite coffee shop off your iPod. Like they're that kind of like that nice little indie band, but you don't think they're going to go places, and then all of a sudden, like, oh shoot, there's Arcade Fire. Like, it's just, to me, it feels like 2 completely different bands.
Like incubation stage Arcade Fire.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Taran?
I don't know, I feel like it's honestly pretty solid for me, and it definitely feels like the Arcade Fire that I'm used to. I mean...
It feels like the band to me, an early version of it, but it still feels like an Arcade Fire.
That Win-Regine interplay is unmistakable, and like... I would say, honestly, like, I'm sleeping in a submarine, and it's ridiculous, but I love it.
And that's the other time, like, when Regine also she sounded like Bjork in those early albums.
Oh,
like, quite
absolutely.
a bit.
There was so much Bjork happening.
Yeah, I know. Love your idols,
But then I feel like, also, like, Vampire Forest Fire. That's the first time that they really, like, did this whole, like, expanded outro, which became... such a hallmark of theirs. Like, half of the songs on Funeral have a complete, like, rhythmic shift, like, at the last minute of the song.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a very good example of that. And each of these songs is them fully accomplishing successfully something that would then become a hallmark of the entire rest of their career.
Right.
And so I don't know, I feel like, these are, like, some of my favorite Arcade Fire songs, along with like every other album they have.
Right.
Like, it doesn't, for me, the quality of the best things on the EP is, it's just like everything else.
Well, and I think the biggest thing, No Cars Go, even though it's a song about fucking nothing, let's be real. Who the fuck knows what that song is about?
Well, like, really, are any of the songs
I mean, that's a fair point, Sleeping in a Submarine, like, they're kind of about things.
Right, or like, My Heart Is an Apple is about some things, but are they related? Like...
It's like, I mean, I understand the associated nature of it. Also, like, lyrically, it's still a little bit amateur hour here, because, like, there's that one line, I think it's off of Woodlands National Anthem, where Wynn's talking about, like, I don't want to go back to Texas. I hope they don't call or whatever. Like, it's kind of this, clear break from, getting away from the past or whatever. And he keeps coming back to themes of, like, suburbs and also, much like you'll find out later on, kind of an anti-religion military thing, as well as conformity and righteousness and filling up bathtubs with water while listening to albums. These are all themes that come up a lot in their discography. But the thing is that, like, I still I can still appreciate it, and also for the record, because they do the cover in No Cars Go on Neon Bible, the version here kicks ass. Even when we saw them at Lollapalooza, they basically played the EP version with the accordion front and center. Like, that was like the pure indication of what they're capable of.
Like, I understand why they did it on Neon Bible. Like, again, they replaced half the band members. They had the budget. This was, like, one of their classic songs, and they wanted to, you know, have it on their big new album. But, honestly, I feel like the strings sort of take some of the immediacy out of it. Or, like, also part of why it was so good in the first place was because it was a little sloppy, and it had those, odd samples. Mm-hmm. And also, the version on here, on the EP, has the harmonies on the bridge between the click of the light and the start of the dream. And then on the Neon Bible version, it's just, I think it's just Wynn and Regine, like, single vocal tracks.
And the guitar's a lot more front.
Doing melody.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just, it doesn't have the same, like, emotional center.
Yeah, it's the same song, but it's just a lesser version of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, I mean, obviously my perception's a little bit different, but also... The EP for me was like, I listened to that after probably, might have been after Reflektor, to be honest.
Really?
It's a while. I actually needed, like, that was the one thing.
What album did you get into with them?
What album did I get into?
Yeah, like, what was your first arcade? Was it Funeral, or was it something else?
It was Funeral, but it was after Neon Bible. So I actually didn't like Arcade Fire for a while, and then I just slowly got into it. I don't really know... I think I was so against the hype train and stuff.
And that's fair, because there was a huge fucking hype train.
The hype train. Right. And, I mean, I guess that's just who I was as a person at that point. But, you know, like, yeah, I mean...
It wore on you.
You know, to be fair, I probably would have been turned off by that, too. I heard of them, like, through a friend. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I got into it. Like, looking back on it, it was sort of a ridiculous hype train. Like, even though it is... Never mind.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second.
Right.
But that being said, not your favorite one. Mm-hmm. Taran has a very strong affinity for it. Let me throw something out there as an idea. I want to toss out my nomination for their worst album. Mm-hmm. And for me, like, the thing is that you got to keep my Arcade Fire EP as much as I like it. I'm not sure if it's going to go very high on our ranking, but for me, it's pretty obvious what their worst album is, and that is this 2-disc thing called Reflektor that came out. And here's the thing.
I knew this was coming.
Oh, did you? Did you?
I saw it coming from a mile away.
All right, cool. Did you see the disco ball in the distance rising over the hill? Little coins of light moving across the landscape?
I saw when I was walking
Did you see the members of Arcade Fire wearing large versions of their heads on top of their real heads?
Yeah, because that's the thing that happened. And here's the thing. I would say Reflektor is not a bad album. It is a very confusing album. I think generally, like, there's, like, themes, or at least, like, some sort of, like, tone that is, like, underlying, like, a lot of their records. Even in the Arcade Fire EP, as kind of slapped together as that is, there's still, like, an earnestness to it that I can't really discount in any way. The songs may not be, like, the best, but, like, there's still something about them trying together and make something, and when it comes all together on No Cars Go, you're like, oh shit, there's something to this chemistry. Mm-hmm. With this album, though, with Reflektor, when they went full disco, and listen, I'm not opposed to a band going disco, let me get that out there. The song Reflektor, 7 minutes, David Bowie cameos, awesome, love it, great. The rest of the album, though, is just literally all over the place. There are some really great songs, kind of the hard rock of a like Normal Person, which is almost kind of like a parody of it, like it's kind of like pavementy rock kind of thing like that, even though the opening is like, do you like rock and roll music? Because I don't think I do, which is a theme that carried over onto everything now. But like, there's also, and like, We Exist, it's fine, but by the time he gets wrapped up in like, he thinks that, Wynn thinks that Here Comes the Nighttime is some sort of fucking anthem that needs to be repeated later on in the album, like, no! That does not need to be repeated. Yeah.
Here Comes the Nighttime Part 2 is like, probably one of the weakest things in their discography. It just, like, it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I mean, first off, I thought you were coming at the first Here Comes the Nighttime, because I think that is a phenomenal song.
Oh, yeah, no, that's like one of their best.
Oh, that's a great tune. I agree, it is definitely very unnecessary, but also Arcade Fire they tend to do a lot of things that are unnecessary. I mean, I'll get into that as we talk
That is a very good point.
They do a lot of things that are very unnecessary, especially at the end of their albums. I feel like that's kind of a thing with them. we'll talk more about that as we get into more in the these
but
albums.
the thing is, Awful Sound, Oh Eurydice, I guess they tried to do a narrative album together where it's these, two kids are falling in love, but they're uncertain or something like that, which I I read about that because when I listen to the album, I don't get that shit at fucking all whatsoever. And then you have fucking porno in there, and
porno's weird.
Little,
I think porno is supposed to make you uncomfortable, but it does, and so it's just while it's a pretty good, the instrumental of it is pretty nice, it's just it doesn't really accomplish what it's going for, I feel like. It just falls short of being a memorable experience, unfortunately, besides, the sort of oddness of the lyrics.
And fucking Joan of Arc, too. Just want to put it along.
I mean, yeah.
No!
The other thing about...
that cloying fucking shit, really annoys me.
I don't hate Joan of Arc, but I do think that Reflektor is the album where they let their melodies slip a bit, and they became less indie rock and more just basic. It's just
Arcade Fire.
Arcade Fire has always had that underlying basicness, and I feel like we've all kind of seen it.
The thing is,
you saw it coming with Suburbs a little bit.
A little bit, right? And the thing is that I think it's not even so much as they're basic. It's that they are a group that are, let's be real, pretentious. Not to name drop too much here, but when I interviewed Ben Gibbard of Death Cab for Cutie, at one point he was talking about, he mentioned you got to keep in mind rock, and he had a very good point about how it was college rock in the '80s and alternative in the '90s. And indie in the 2000s. It's all the same fucking genre, guys. Get over it. But also he talked about, and you gotta keep in mind, none of these bands out here are gonna be U2, except, maybe the Arcade Fire. They might be U2. And I felt like the U2 comparison is fairly apt, because if you want to talk about a band that is so self-serious and self-important in what they do, and the thing is that, I think that's very true. With the Suburbs, they kind of had, definitely had a theme, they had a vision they were going for. With Reflektor, and especially with Everything Now, they pushed a little bit too far into the whole... This is their YouTube pop album. This is they got lost in the costumes and the concepts and ideas, a little bit.
But can you blame them? It's sort of a natural progression. I mean, they started with the sort of
not whimsical,
modern
but
technology. Even Neon Bible gets into that a little bit. Mm-hmm. When you have success as a band, and when you are a huge stadium-filling act for over a decade,
opening for you,
you're gonna start investing that in the budget. You're going to start spending money, and so it makes sense to me. I understand why people don't like it as much, but obviously a band with this big of a budget is going to go a little more electronic, and they're going to go flashy, because why wouldn't they?
Right. And I don't know if I necessarily want to blame the budget here. I think the elephant in the room that we're not the elephant in the room that we're not talking about is we have this really weird union between Arcade Fire, more of a classic type rock band, and we've got James Murphy,
LCD sound system,
LCD sound system,
producer,
electro music, disco, and we have this weird union. And obviously bringing these two worlds together, it's oh wow, this could be amazing. You do kind of get this whole weird, they're both really great by themselves, but I feel like both parts together, maybe you're not really getting the sum that you expect.
You got your James Murphy and my Arcade Fire. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I do think about that a lot with Reflektor, and I think it is...
That's a very good point.
One of their stronger albums. However, I would say this. I think if they lopped off Disc 2, I think Disc 1 is phenomenal. I think it's great. I agree with that. I think there's a lot of conflict there in terms of the ideas. And even Disc 2, I don't think it's that bad. It's obviously the weaker part. I think we can all agree on that. Mm-hmm. What I would say is you really have to be in the mood to listen to it, because you kind of get these songs that rather just, they sort of they don't really hit you in the face. They kind of just, they're there and they unfold a little bit.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it. Reflektor also, I feel like, is a lot of the times the songs just sort of, they've always had very lengthy tracks.
Yes.
They have a musical idea and they fully explore it. Mm-hmm. But earlier in their discography, there were movements and there were hard hitting sections, whereas I feel like Reflektor,
it's more groove.
It's very groove based. It just sort of unfolds.
And that's also part of the reason why Disc 2 I think falls off for me, because it's 6-minute song after 6-minute song after 6-minute song.
Right. And there's really nothing noteworthy there.
Except for Supersymmetry. I think, like...
That's your standout on this
I didn't say it was my
I'm
standout.
shocked
I
at that,
enjoy
actually.
it thoroughly. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit partially biased, though, because the version that was in the film Her, the Spike Jonze movie, the one where Will got that Oscar nomination, because they did a version of it that was a lot more acoustic, a lot more stripped down, a lot more string laden. It was beautiful there. So even though I hear this one here, and it's not, like, as compelling, I still have an affinity for that song for that reason. So
I do have an affinity for... I wish the chorus of Afterlife wasn't so simple, but
We can
I feel
work
like
it
as far
out.
as like groove building,
Yeah.
I think they're pretty successful there. And then I also do have a soft spot for It's Never Over, Hey Orpheus.
Yeah, I kinda do.
The first part of that suite, Oh Eurydice, is not as solid, but yeah, that riff,
Yeah.
great. And then honestly, I feel like some of those harmonies are even like Prince inspired. Like that,
can see that,
"Wait
yeah.
till it's over."
Yeah.
Like when that all comes in, it's very like closely recorded to the mic, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I feel like that's my biggest thing, is that there are some solid moments here on Reflektor. Definitely not Flashbulb Eyes, but I feel like there are some solid-ass moments. The thing is that, like, when I think about even, like, Arcade Fire may not have as many wow moments, I feel like it's at least, again, when I think about the earnestness and kind of, like, how it comes together, it draws a little bit for me because, well, you say, like, if the first disc would have been, like, really solid by itself, as we've discussed in this podcast before, you have to take the whole package. And that's the thing. There's that whole, like, this is a bloated album, too, where, like, it's like... if it went either way, honestly, I'd be okay. But, like, for me, I nominated Reflektor just because I feel like it's the most bloated and the least focus that they have in their career. Donahue, thoughts, ideas?
You're not wrong, especially when we get to disc 2. I mean, it's obviously weaker.
Uh-huh.
And it's not... For me, it's definitely in the bottom half. I don't think it's the worst. I don't even think it's the second worst, actually.
Oh.
Would you say it's the second worst?
Everything Now.
Oh, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Everything Now is hard.
It's tough, guys. I
Everything-
actually need to stand up and walk around from like...
He needs to get that everything now. Speaking of going
Everything
disco, by the way, because it's not the fact that they went disco. When the song Everything Now came out, and like people were like, oh my god, it's new Arcade Fire something or other. It was like they went full Eurovision. It went
Right, they
full,
went like
yeah.
ABBA.
And at first, a lot of people were just like, and Stereo Gum very infamously wrote this thing like, make Arcade Fire great again, whatever happened to one of the greatest bands in the world or whatever. To which, of course, Arcade Fire, during their stupid-ass fucking pre-release campaign, they, Sony Music bought the website Stereo Yum, and they just did a complete imitation of the
They
Stereo
did
Gum
a
website.
premature evaluation.
Like, they're just like, here's all the things they're going to say about us that are douchey. Thomas
like-
Bangletter of Daft Punk was producer. We're going to mention it a lot. I'm like, okay, guys, you can calm down a little bit. That being said, Everything Now, the song has really grown on me. But the thing is that they also were smart enough to put out the singles were legitimately the best songs on there consistently.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for me, all 4 of those singles have really grown on me. Like,
Yeah.
Everything Now is great. Honestly, Creature Comfort is probably going to be on my, like, end of the year singles list.
I like
Like,
Creature Comfort, yeah.
It's really
Good song.
solid. I love, again, we have the classic, like, Win Regime.
Oh,
back
and I love it
forth.
on here because, like, he repeats something, but when she repeats it in that multi-track level, like, it's just, like, it just stands out, and it's just, like, great.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And Electric Blue, like, I
That
love
was-
a good
yeah.
Regine disco track of now, which we have like 4 of them. But like,
And this is also around the time, more than Reflektor, when they really went with the wordless chorus thing full bore. Because, like, they're like, na 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 na, like, they kind of do that whole thing. And then, of course, Everything Now, la 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 la.
that's just a bridge, though.
I mean,
also,
yeah.
again, they've always had the non-vocal hooks.
Yeah.
Funeral is
Right.
packed
Oh,
with
absolutely.
non-vocals.
Yeah, but it's less so on Reflektor. I feel like they kind of, like, got away from it.
Right,
kinda
and
came
maybe
back
that's
to
why
it, yeah.
Reflektor's not as good, is because it wasn't that, like, indie rock,
Like,
like,
'cause, I mean...
catchy, simple, like, pounding.
And the thing is that we
chorus.
talk about, and I feel like in terms of pure pop structure, we're going way into theory here, but like, the thing is like, when you have something that's shout along, that's something that people can get behind, that's really simple to like repeat, over and over again, like a catchy pop chorus or whatever, it doesn't matter what the words are, people will generally sing along to it, so when you actually throw some meaning on the words there, it kind of grows a little bit,
On and on, I don't know what I want. On and on, I don't know what I want.
Like, that's kind of like, it's like really easy lyrics, but there's a little bit of depth to it. And the person hearing it in the right state of mind, even though they're chanting along, like, oh, wait, they might, like, turn, cock their
Yes.
head, thinking.
That's
yeah.
what's missing from Reflektor.
Yeah.
Where's the chant along?
Yeah.
Like, that's on literally every other Arcade Fire record.
Mhm.
There's those chant-along choruses. Like, that was the best part of
On
seeing them
Reflektor?
live.
Here comes the night time. Here comes the night
Yeah,
time. I mean, come on. Like,
That's okay. Yes, they are.
I get where you're going with this. Yeah.
They
We
are.
can work it out.
They are repeating lyrics. Yes, but it's not like
I mean, listen.
They are-
They
It's
are
like
like
lazy. I'm
fun
like, yeah.
things to shout along to in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the other thing is there's part of what made Arcade Fire so exciting and visceral is because they're just like screaming and there's 6 of them and there's so much energy and with Reflektor and partially everything now there's this like you're kind of losing that like that's taking a backseat to this like soundscape that they're creating.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a thing where I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it, and because I really love the singles on Everything Now a lot, I really, really do. But the rest of the songs, when you get to Chemistry, when you get to the two...
I'm so happy we bring that up now. Oh, God. I've got thoughts on that and Peter Pan. Like, those are, between Chemistry and Peter Pan, maybe 2 of the weakest songs Arcade Fire's put out.
Yeah, I mean they're not great. They're sort of like
they're just there.
They're kind of playing into tropes for both of those. And
Peter
it's
Pan
yeah,
is just
no,
a ballad
right,
that
yeah.
just does not connect.
and
Arcade
same
in
thing
any
with
way.
like the 2 parts of infinite content. It's like, oh, you had this idea and you went
infinitely content, like
and you went like punk and country
win,
with it,
please.
like
Oh, guys,
they're
and
so
the thing is that, like,
brilliant.
especially when you do, like, the punk
Just
country
maybe
thing, it's
take
like,
off my glasses
guys,
for that.
genre can be anything. And in 2017, everyone's like, yeah, we fucking know,
Right,
all
like
right?
everyone genre hops.
Yeah.
It's just what we do.
I hear
now.
country albums with dubstep wubs in them. Like, this is like, don't even start,
I
okay?
will say, I do have a soft spot for the end of this record when they have, like, I kind of like Put Your Money on Me. Again, it's not like
Might be
an
alone.
incredible song,
Uh-huh.
but when you compare it to the lull in the middle,
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
solid.
it's-
and then I like We Don't Deserve
That's
Love,
been
too.
a grower on me, too. Like, I
Yeah.
love the textures that they have on there are unique, kind of just like, you know, like, quiet, but like, you know, blurring synth
And I
line,
also-
it kind of comes together.
Yeah, I also love it takes like 2.5 minutes to get to the chorus.
Yeah.
Like they really take their time exploring that sound, and I
Well,
that's
it
what
lost
they
me in that
always
time
do.
they got to the chorus. So
Yeah.
because I just zoned out. I'm like, oh wait, is there a chorus happening now? I'm sorry. I got lost at the last intersection you guys stopped at,
Yeah.
so, a minute and a half ago.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I mean, here's the thing, guys. Like, we're debating between Reflektor and Everything Now, and I want to put things in perspective. These are still very good albums. I think if there were other bands that play these albums, they would probably be, near the top of their catalog. But we're talking about Arcade Fire right now.
Very-
And these are,
Right, and
Yeah.
that's why
These
we're
are the
talking
bottom.
about these 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're all pretty much in agreement, though the bottom 3 is going to
Yeah.
consist of these 3 albums,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think it just, and honestly, I think we put out some good debates so far. I think because we're also a half hour into the podcast, I think we should probably.
Rein it in.
It might be
Yeah.
it might be simple outvoting on here, but I think we can do it. Nomination. Let's do 6, 5, 4. What's your nomination for worst album?
EP.
Nomination for worst album.
Reflektor.
I'm gonna go with Reflektor, so we have that at 6. Number 5. Still EP?
Oh, so
Yeah.
Reflektor's out. All right, yeah, it's still going to be EP.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Okay, cool. In that case, we could go ahead and put Everything Now at number 4 then. So
as
then
much
we
as
have
I
that.
love the EP,
Right.
the singles on Everything Now are good enough to push it ahead.
Okay. No, and I think that's actually a very fair point too. So in that case, I'm actually okay with that. I think that's pretty good. Number 6, Reflektor, deservedly. Number 5, Arcade Fire the EP. Number 4, Everything Now. Okay, guys, we are already halfway through, but we've already had an intense debate. What is left, just to remind you guys, is Funeral, Neon Bible, and The Suburbs. So guess what? Now it's the unenviable task time. So, Ryan.
This is why we're really here, though. I feel like we all sort of knew
Right.
before this began.
Yeah.
These are going to be the 3 albums we were talking
And that's
about.
why I was also, like, even though it came out a week and a half ago, I'm very comfortable putting Everything Now where it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's... it did not go down as an instant classic. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that being said, we have 3... A lot of people would say these are masterpieces in various ways and forms. So, now it comes down to Ryan Donahue. Of these 3 albums remaining, what would you nominate in our number 3 spot? Okay, this is going to be controversial. This is going to be
It's
crazy.
not going to be controversial.
Okay.
I think what really weirds me out about it is that it's won a Grammy for Best Album of the Year.
Mhm.
It's The Suburbs. It's The Suburbs for me. Just to kind of go over, I mean, obviously Arcade Fire treads this very thin line between brilliant and boring, and they've kind of been doing it their entire career. Honestly, they have.
No, I mean, I'm laughing because you're right. Yeah.
You know, they're a very no-frills band, but also, like, I think what's incredible about them is a lot of their best music, it's just raw emotion, and it's not so much about sometimes the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah,
It's the
no, you're
beautiful
absolutely
melodies.
right.
It's
They
the
have a
emotion,
very
it's the
cinematic
connection you
sense
feel.
of melody that
Absolutely.
they're able to
Yes.
build upon. And
Absolutely.
so therefore, No Cars Go, even though it's about fucking nothing, still is like, you feel like everything, right?
And
Right.
that's
It's just
why,
like,
They play it
oh,
all
that's why
blues and
Wake
you
Up
get-
has been used in everything ever,
Exactly.
Yeah.
is because...
it's anthemic and you know,
Yeah.
huge and amazing.
And I would argue that's kind of like a
Cinematic.
middling song on that album. So
Yeah.
and it's still I mean you
Right.
still get hyped when they play it.
Yeah.
You're going to. Like I want
So
them to end themselves.
what about the suburbs specifically kind of brings it down a little bit for you?
Here's the thing. We're looking at the list and it's 16 songs. That is a long album.
It is.
Too
For
long.
me,
It really is, though.
if I ever actually put out an album as Northern Territories, I'm not going to go above like 11.
Single available on MySpace right now.
Shouts out Northern Territories. Anyway, also shouts out the Ramen Noodle Boys. All right, after I'm done, kind of giving myself shouts out and stuff. Here's the thing: 16
Calm
songs
down
is
there,
a
Win.
lot.
Yeah.
I really anything past 11, 12, 13 songs like that is really pushing it with me. There's a lot of good
And
stuff.
if some of those songs were interludes, that'd be okay, but pretty much all of these.
I mean,
Yeah, and there are some
you
long
could
songs in
argue
here.
that some of these are interludes.
Mhm.
But you could argue at the same time. It's
Yeah.
not like that was an interlude. It's not like we're all in agreement. Yeah,
And I mean, even kind of the theme of this is the suburbs. Like, what do we think of when we think of the suburbs?
I mean, there are 2 songs on here literally called Sprawl. This album
Exactly.
is this
Exactly.
album is very sprawling because it takes a long time to get to everywhere in the
Yeah.
suburbs. And so that's sort of like you have these sort of spacey moments like Half-Life 2 and Sprawl 1 where you're trying to get from one
Right.
important place to another. And from Get to We Used to Wait to Sprawl 2, you have to go through, like, a residential area.
Exactly.
Well, and I think it's weird how, like, because especially after Funeral became this, like, oh, look at all the different string sections and accordions, like, all the different sounds they're bringing together on this album. I feel like with Neon Bible, it was a little bit more straightforward, but there was a lot of darker undercurrents, and of course that giant church organ, which defined a lot of it as well for them. With the Suburbs, I feel like they went the most straightforward they had been. There's not a lot of, like, changes mid-song for these, like, things. So, like,
It's not as fun of an album. That's
right,
for
exactly.
Sure.
I mean, that being said, you still have songs like "Ready to Start," which are still like great. Even
Again, fully propulsive. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
We Used to Wait,
Uh-huh.
for example.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say a lot. Honestly, I'm looking at this list right now. I would say maybe there's 1 or 2 bad songs in here. There's a couple of kind of middling songs, but I generally like a lot of the songs in here.
Right.
Like I said, I think just when you put it all together, it just feels a little bit too long when you're trying to listen to it from start to finish.
And I remember for me personally, because I was obviously a fan at this point. Bought Neon Bible the first day it came out after the whole Funeral Revolution happened. And I remember driving, I was moving from Salt Lake to Chicago, and I had the Suburbs, I was like putting that in because I had put it in my car so many times, and for whatever reason, it just wasn't connecting with me. It just for whatever
I felt
reason,
the
there's
same
always
way.
this emotional.
Yeah.
It kept me. And there's songs I like and songs I appreciate, but I never really got into the display of it. But I had a conversation literally last week with Zach Schoenfeld of Newsweek, and he was talking, and he made a very interesting when I mentioned we were doing an Arcade Fire episode next. He talked about, like, man, that's so fucking weird because he's working at Newsweek, pretty, like hip cultural magazine, and there's a lot of younger staffers that are coming on, 23, 24, whatever. Their favorite album is The Suburbs. That is, like, the thing that Arcade Fire is known for. I'm like, that's crazy. But then I pulled up their sales numbers. They have 2 gold albums. Funeral, shockingly, and The Suburbs. And The Suburbs has outsold Funeral. Like, kids, like, a certain generation has really connected with that whole, like, I'm stuck here doing nothing, and yet, everything is, like, I feel very emotionally vacant or whatever kind of thing that's going on with this album. And the thing is, like, oh, okay, cool. It's just, like, I'm not sure if it's purely a generational thing, but, like, there's so many moments I can appreciate, and I still can't connect with that larger whatever theme they're fucking going. We just barely, actually, before you got here, we finished watching the Spike Jonze 20-minute whatever fucking film, Scenes from the Suburbs, which is kind of about a dystopian suburb, essentially.
It's about a suburban war.
Yeah, that's technically, yeah. There's guns
that's, like,
and
the
control
whole
points
concept.
and other things like that, and soldiers all over the place. And much like the album, it had a lot of emotional scenes that are well-intentioned in meaning, and I don't know what it all means or how it ties together.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it was really only like 22 minutes of film, and I think for what it wanted to accomplish, it maybe should have been at least another 10, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, there were poignant moments, but it just sort of like skipped to them. Like, it's like they had the story for an entire feature length, and then they just decided to not shoot all of the scenes.
Yeah.
It wasn't totally effective, and I think also, having known this record so well for 7 years now, it was sort of like the songs in the background didn't really add anything.
Right. No, instead of like, unless you were like hearing it for the first time, and it's like Beyonce Lemonade, you're hearing these songs for the first time in this film context, which is a different experience altogether. But yeah, and so there are moments I still like on here, obviously. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of, say, Month of May, kind of this, like, harder rocking whatever type thing.
I don't hate Month of May,
I like Suburban more, though. It has a nice little build to it. But, of course, we're all dancing around the fact that this is the album that Sprawl 2 comes from. Mountains Beyond Mountains.
Man, and, like, people, like, complain about the suburbs, or people complain about Arcade Fire, like, going to electro. And I'm like, except that when Sprawl 2 came out, I'm pretty sure...
Everyone lost their goddamn mind.
Except me, I hated that track when it first came out.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't stand it.
Even now?
No, because this album's grown a lot to me. But before, The Suburbs was that album I didn't want to talk about because I didn't know how to feel. Mm-hmm. I remember when it first came out, and I remember reading all these reviews, and all these critics were like, yep, Arcade Fire, they've cemented their status as one of the greatest bands of the new
third
century.
Masterpiece in a row.
And I remember listening to it and just feeling completely underwhelmed. And also, it's the suburbs. Like, I grew up in the suburbs, and like it didn't connect with me any facet. I
grew up in fucking Utah. It's
right. I'd get halfway through it, and I'd be like, all right, you on? Like, what's next? Are the Arctic Monkeys having a album out yet? Like, what are we? Can we listen?
Because as we all know, everyone's genre hop between Arcade Fire and Arctic Monkeys.
Absolutely. Shouts out Alex Turner.
Yeah. I think there's like a huge overlap there. That makes sense.
Side note, Arctic Fire. Let's get that happening. Richard Repairer, what are you doing on your off season? I don't know.
No.
But I mean, I think are we
in agreement?
Are we in agreement?
I think we are, guys.
I mean, like I would say that my favorite songs on here I like more than stuff on Neon Bible. But
let's talk about favorite songs, because I feel like
I know we're shitting on this a lot.
Yeah.
Rococo.
Oh God, no!
You know what? That was another song I used to hate. And it's grown on me a lot.
Well, because of that fucking string section.
It's just. I'm a little annoyed that it literally says, like, what is that horrible song they're singing? Rococo, Rococo.
But it's a little bit relatable. Because,
the terrible song that you're singing right now, and I want it to stop because you're just saying Rococo over and over again.
That's what you do. Like, I feel like this is kind of a general thing with kids, but, also in the songs, like, you listen to awful songs, and then, like, when you get older, you're like, what the hell are those kids listening to? Like, so I kind of, like, for me, that's my interpretation of the song, and, like, that's where I was like,
it's like a meta commentary on itself.
It's really weird. Yeah, it is a social commentary, and that's where it connected with me later on.
But if we're talking about favorites...
Oh, not a favorite at all.
Definitely no one's favorite. No, favorites, I mean, I think The Suburbs, the title track, really is a phenomenal song. Ready to Start, obviously. Even Modern Man. Like, those first three, I think they start the album very strong, and then it's like, kind of slim pickings for a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely not City with No Children, I'll tell you that.
Really? That's my favorite song on the album.
What? Absolutely. I mean, I like that song, but it's far from my favorite.
Yeah.
And then, Sprawl 2.
Yeah, I'd say City with No Children. I'm not joking. That's my favorite on there. Empty Room is really good. I don't think we give that enough
Empty
credit.
Room too.
That's grown on me.
Yeah, Suburbs is a great song. It's weird. I mean, obviously, Sprawl 2 used to be, if not my least favorite, one of my least favorites tracks on this album. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's in there. It's in the top 3 or 4 for sure. So, but yeah, City with No Children, guys.
Yeah, I don't, that's fine.
Well, are we all in agreement then that this is pretty much our number 3 album?
This is our number 3. And guys, this is a Grammy winning album. The best album of the year.
Yeah, let's not forget.
I think it's only Grammy winning because they didn't give it to the Funeral or Neon Bible, and they kind of felt like they should. A little bit.
Also, this was like, for me, the pinnacle of like 2010, one of the best years of music in my life. Yeah,
also around that time came out. No, 2010, you said one of the best years of music. What else came out in 2010?
What else are you looking for here, man?
Any example? You just say 2010, yeah.
I mean, was it My Beautiful Dark Fantasy? You had the
yeah.
LCD sound
Wasn't
system.
that 20? Oh, no, that was
2010, yeah.
You had the LCD sound system. You had Big Boy solo album.
Yeah,
you
the Shit
had-
Just Left Foot, the first one.
Yeah, there were just so many random albums. Like that
Robin came out that year.
Yeah.
Robin came out. There was that Waves album. You know.
Was there that Waves
Exactly.
album?
Yeah, wait.
Yo, listen,
The
like
album that came with the grinder? Yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
that's why it was. But you just
Him
had
and
some,
Toblo.
I think Los Campesinos might have had an album. that came
Didn't
out.
Grum come out in 2010?
Yeah.
I wish
Where's our Grub episode of Chartographers?
I wish
There's something
I
Grum
wish I had like a list of all the albums that came out in 2010 that I really liked. So
The
like,
Nicki
there were a lot
Minaj
of-
album that you love?
What's that?
The Nicki Minaj album that you
I
love?
love every Nicki Minaj album. You know that, Evan.
Oh, yes, I do.
You're
I know. I really thought it was weird when you took out your phone and played Anaconda at that funeral we attended. But still, whatever.
I can't help myself.
Do
you know?
babe? Do you? Right, exactly. So hey, number 3, the suburbs. All right.
Definitely.
So now we're down. I think, and here's the thing: any casual fan, anyone that has any general familiarity with the Arcade Fire, I'm pretty sure they knew this was going to happen. We come down to 1 and 2. Between Funeral and Neon Bible.
Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
For the record, Donahue is moving around the studio.
I'm like, now
pacing.
standing
This
between
is-
us.
Yeah.
This is the moment. This is the moment, guys.
Yeah.
These are the 2 albums we're really here to talk
I
about.
think, is this 8 Mile? Is this right now? Do you use the restroom? Is that what's
no,
going
no,
on?
I'm
No,
great. I
he's
feel
pumping
great.
us up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. This is still scary.
Cool.
Anywho, so
It's gonna be here.
let's just talk about these albums here. And the thing is, especially if you're listening to this podcast, because there's a lot of people that just listen to the podcast just to hear the facts and the other things like that, may not necessarily be familiar with the music. We've been talking about what the achievement of Funeral is, but we haven't really talked about the album. Let's talk about Funeral first. Chronologically came first too. Because when this album starts, when you have fucking Neighborhood Number 1 Tunnels come in, and that little piano chord, and you have that. The thing is, what are you listening to? You're listening to something that isn't really like conventional rock music, as you know, or indie music. There's too many instruments going on almost every song of this album. There's little piano twinkles, there's little accordions, there's shout vocals coming around every one of there.
Harp.
Yeah, there's
strings,
all sorts of
horns.
shit that's going on, and you're the thing is, it doesn't sound too indulgent. It's not like, here's the horn section. It's like every little element kind of comes together on their own. They're adding up to a larger whole.
Mm-hmm.
They have the melodies. It's like all these melodies are here with so many instruments clanging on the melody, and as the melody is rocking forth, the instruments are shaking off or adding on or whatever.
I love this album too because you feel like this band is in the room singing to you.
Yeah, that was my
the way it's
revelation.
recorded.
That was my revelation this week. I was really listening to it on headphones for the first time in a while. Because, you put it in the car or whatever, that's one thing. Just singing on headphones, I'm like, some of these vocals are, recorded pretty cheaply. It sounds like a person shouting in a room, not a recording studio. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I never really noticed, how kind of, home-strewn it is, because it doesn't feel home-strewn. It feels, monumental as a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Context-wise, 3 of the band members all lost family members during this time, which is why they named it Funeral as well. So Death isn't exactly the featured character on this album, but Death is a little bit of a looming specter on some of this here. A lot of it is still about... it is weird because 2 things I realized about the album this week. One, how Wynn frequently writes from the perspective of a child. How, a petulant, angry child. The thing is, even when he sings in this pained voice or whatever, there's a strain to it there, and it's way more apparent on the EP than here, because here it's a lot more dramatic and considered. Mm-hmm. But,
he's lost the drawl by now.
Thank God. But secondly, though, there are so few choruses here. A lot of the songs, because I was there were certain lyrics I was trying to look up earlier today, and I'm like, oh, there's no chorus. It's just verse. They do 7 verses in a row. Mm-hmm. There is no chorus to a lot of these songs, and they carry that on with some of the albums to a degree. But here, most importantly, they don't repeat.
That's mind-blowing. I don't think I ever really considered that. I'm looking over this.
Yeah,
Leica has a chorus.
Leica has a chorus, yeah.
Power Out kind of has a
Kind
chorus.
of does, but
Yeah.
that's not really what really gets you out of your seat.
It
Yeah.
doesn't it doesn't have a chorus as much as it has a melodic theme that ends each verse.
Yeah, Crown of Love has a chorus. Wake Up does not. Exactly, whatsoever.
Wow.
One arguably their most famous song.
Rebellion does.
Yeah.
But it only does it twice. That's the other thing too, is that if there's a chorus, it happens twice in these 5-minute songs.
And that's it's one of the things, they're still adhering to traditional 4/4 song structures and things like that, but the songs just keep going. They keep rolling on their own thing. Again, you're not singing the chorus to Wake Up, you're just singing all of Wake Up and doing the giant whoa-whoa chant in the middle there.
Right, well, and then 3 minutes in, it completely shifts tempo and, explodes into the ending.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, for me, I remember my joy when Crown of Love, when that thing builds up, and the emotion can't take it, and then fucking dance break, and it's just like, what? And it was like, oh yeah, Crown of Love.
The first time I saw them was Lollapalooza years and years ago, and
young Ryan.
I think it was like the National that came up. Yeah. I think the National came out with them, and they mentioned we got the song, and these guys always bug us to play it, and we've never played it, but they say it's their favorite songs we're gonna do, and it was Crown of Love. I'm like, this song is incredible. Like, if this was any other band's song, this would probably be their #1 single.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just hidden away here sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a hidden treasure on Funeral.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They do sort of a similar structure on Une Naissance Lumière. And even like Wake Up, like the very ending of it all explodes.
Yeah,
it's just what they always do. It's like their best tracks are when they have the concept, they're building tension, and then
they subvert expectations. Release. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's great because they never really did it in that same way again.
No, they didn't.
Like, they sometimes do some tempo changes, but like when you have a fucking rock guitarist come in near the end of Lumiere, there's fucking digga 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 digga, and it's just like, oh shit, and it's like fucking mosh pit, like fun time indie rock. Like, it's great. And so that being said, as much as Funeral is still an incredible listening experience, I mean, Haiti I'm kind of sometimes on board with, sometimes less.
I think we're all in agreement here. It's a lesser track on this album, but
also not Taran.
Okay, fair enough, Taran. I could see you on this.
Like, sometimes it's hard for me to find lesser tracks on this album, but. Besides 7
I mean, Haiti for me. Also, it's that song I didn't even realize I liked, but like I'd be like whistling some tune, and I realized like it's Haiti, and I'm like, oh shit, like that's that one song I used to skip over on Funeral,
and yet it just burrowed into your head.
But that's the thing, it did, yeah. It just there's so many songs that connect here. I think you really have to just think like what is music? Like, really, it's just meant to make us, like, feel something, Like, that's the whole point.
That's why I listen to Taio Cruz's Dynamite every day. Yeah.
Whose man's is this?
I like Haiti a lot because it's such a break from this album.
Yes.
I honestly don't think that if we did, like, Crown of Love, Wake Up, Rebellion, Lies all in a row, they wouldn't have the same impact.
No, that's fair, yeah.
And I don't know, because it does have those, like, almost like air raid sirens over it, and like there's the real like
so many touches, it's so beautiful.
There's this real sense of like danger in it, which they also sort of hit on when you get to like Power Out. But yeah, there's just so much tension, and but then you have Regine's like very feathery, like almost soothing voice singing these sort of gruesome images. There's so many different layers to it.
But then also, let me just talk about her gorgeous take on In the Backseat. Just this sweet and incredible closure to the album. Like, for all the energy and excitement that exudes out of these arrangements and this voice and this drama that you're experiencing, it's just this, it's not like a ballad, it's not like a heart-wrenching thing, it's just this beautiful, nice little note to end on. Like, it's solid. But
it fucking rocks too.
Yeah.
When you get to the second chorus there, and like that's another song I used to skip In the Backseat because it was at the end. And because it starts in like when it's just like the guitar and Regine, it's not that exciting, and I like always forget what it does. Like, those string parts on there are stunning, and she like lets out this utter wail. And she doesn't do that anywhere else on here. You sort of like forget that that's something they have in their pocket.
Yeah. But of course, we all know, like, for those that were there in the moment, Funeral came out, critics adored it, one of the best albums of the year, some say one of the best albums of the decade, etc., blah, blah, blah. And of course, a lot of people like, I need more Arcade Fire material. You can either see them live or you can buy the EP, But then there was a new album coming out, and I remember when that fucking single Intervention dropped. When you have that fucking, like, long-ass fucking huge organ, and I remember, like, oh shit, they raised the game. I had never been more hyped for a song from a new album.
Wow.
Like in some
And it's
time.
so funny
Wow.
because Intervention has never been one of my favorites on here, but I remember when they posted Black Mirror on their website, where if you just went to arcadefire.com,
Oh, yeah!
the
I
video,
remember that, yeah.
all it was the video of Black Mirror, and it started playing. That got me so hyped for this record.
So, and the thing is, I was so excited. And so it was weird when I finally heard the album by itself because it is, like, first off, you can't harp on the band for anything because, like, when you have the hype train working overtime on your last album, how do you even begin to follow it up? Mm-hmm. And so the thing is, what they did is they went a little bit more straightforward, a little bit darker. It was also around the 2007. People were sick of Bush. They were really sick of Bush. And so it was almost kind of a protest album, but not really. Like, there's more than a few references to soldiers and war that are going on here, and a lot of references to religion as well. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, it's hard to say what it's about, but it's still a pretty stellar album, all things considered.
And sometimes, I mean, maybe it's not so much what the music is about, it's the way it makes you feel. Mm-hmm. And the dark undertones and stuff, like, it's just such a cool album, honestly. Like, it really is. I mean,
the car running.
Keep the car running, yeah. You know, yeah, it's kind of a very, you know, similar structure to, like, Antichrist, like, Television Blues. I love that album, or that song on here. That track's great. And it was Intervention may be my favorite, like, Arcade Fire song, honestly. Like, it's just so big and just
and by the time those choral vocals come in near the end,
the church while your family dies, and that part hits you, just like, wow, like. Yeah.
It's such a nice song. The weird thing is that, like, I always had, like, how critics had viewed it. I always had in my mind that Neon Bible was kind of the lesser version of Funeral, like, for the longest time.
It's so utterly different.
It is, and that's the thing.
Absolutely.
I think people wanted a Funeral too, but they gave them something different, which is kind of what you actually wanted anyway. You always want something different. And my revelation during research week when I went back into it, like, man, fucking Windowsill. How can I forget about goddamn Windowsill? Like, that was a song that was always solid to me and always struck out to me. Yeah.
Easily the worst thing on here.
Really?
I don't know if I'd say it's the worst thing on here, but it's definitely, it's not one of the stronger songs.
I mean,
I'll agree with you there.
That verse melody is so, again, this is, like, that melody has been done hundreds of times. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, but da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
There's a couple times where they reference,
it's a little beneath them.
Well, also, you know what else is beneath them? Calling a song Black Wave Bad Vibrations, which apparently is a play on the Beach Boys song Good Vibrations.
Shocker.
I know. That's actually, I read that interview, I'm like, fuck you guys, that's stupid.
You don't need to tell us that, we're already thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but my favorite track on here, well, okay, it goes back and forth. I have a couple.
Alright.
My Body is a Cage.
Really?
You know, that's
I know it's a fan favorite, but
but that's like one that I used to skip that, and now it's like one of my favorite songs ever. Like, his vocals on that are so, like, heart-wrenching and pained, and it just, again, they do the, like, build here so well, and that church organ at the end.
Yeah. Like I think it's, like, as obvious a new instrument as it is, they really use the church organ well across this whole album. Like, yeah.
And my favorite part, too, is that, like, that was, I always thought that they bought the church and turned it into a studio because it had an organ and then used it.
Nope.
No, they bought the church and then they were like, you know what this album needs? An organ. And so they had, like, this huge pipe organ installed, which is just insane. Because you can't recreate that sound.
Right.
Like, it's the only thing that sounds that full. Like, you can't get those exact echoes on a synth tone.
Right. Yeah. This album wouldn't be the same without that organ. I think we're all in agreement here. Like, that really helps it kind of just transcend.
I also still really dug the Well in the Lighthouse, FYI.
Oh, yeah, I'm a fan.
All right, so Taran, I got to point this out. I mean, My Body is a Cage. Actually, that's my least favorite track on this album.
Really? That's your least favorite?
So, I mean, I've kind of alluded to this before. I really hate the way Arcade Fire ends their albums a lot of times. No Cars Go, we got this big cathartic release, and then My Body is a Cage, like, it's just kind of, it's just, you know, I kind of like what he's doing there. I feel like the placement for me just isn't right. Like, I want to go on like, kind of a high a little bit. Maybe that's not the whole point of, you know, kind of the way this is set up with that giant, like, organ and kind of these, like, these dark, you know, vibes and stuff, but not a fan of that. Honestly, in the backseat, that's my least favorite funeral
Which
song.
is weird, but okay. But here,
I get what you're saying. you want a finale, and what they give you is
A come down.
climax. They give you a climax and then like a burnout.
It just leaves me asking for more, and maybe not in the way that I wanted. It's like, oh, you just had me at no cars, go, like, just stop it, just leave me there.
They do
leave me where I was.
They do always, literally on every record. They end
exactly.
They end with something down tempo.
Exactly, and that's what I don't like. I think I mentioned like Suburbs, like Deep Blue. I think that's the worst song there. The Suburbs. Why do we need to continue that? I mean, I get that was the first track. Just let it go. We had Sprawl too.
The Suburbs.
I was happy
the
there.
Suburbs continued. Is like,
Oh, come on.
like honestly, I think that the Everything Now continued is way more interesting than the Suburbs continued. Like obviously that was a trope they were coming back to, but they actually did some interesting arrangement things with the slower version of this title track. And they didn't accomplish that on the Suburbs. The Suburbs continued just kind of like fizzles out.
It was just,
Yeah.
you should have just left that Sprawl too. For me, also Super Cemetery, I know you like that track. That's just like, like, how long is
Come
that?
down.
7, 8, 9, 10 minutes of drugs.
It's
just
like 6 minutes. But
yeah.
okay, so you seem to not like their slower shit in general. How do you feel about Ocean of Noise?
I'm a big fan of Ocean of Noise.
I
really love that
Yes.
song. That song connects for me. And that's the problem. Like I said, the fine line for Arcade Fire to me has always been, we've got the brilliant side, but they're always kind of teetering on this boring, like, okay, I'm just gonna like put on some rap music now because like you lost me there 5 minutes ago. But yeah, Ocean of Noise. It's such a lovely song. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like you're walking on a beach at night, and it's kind of rainy and it's dreary, and it's just the feelings you get from it, guys.
That was a great.
That was a amazing description of it. Yeah.
The reason I ask is because that's my other favorite on here.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
it's
song.
Between
Absolutely
My
brilliant.
Body's a Cage and
Brilliant
Ocean of
song.
Noise.
Yeah, I mean, I used to kind of discount the middle of this album just because, I mean, obviously at the beginning you've got Black Mirror.
You got a hell of an opening.
Keep the car running. Obviously, not my favorite song. Very strong single.
Neon Bible title track, not an incredible song, but
you
it's
get that
fucking
stuck
memorable.
in your
Yeah,
head.
it is.
And let's talk. Oh my god, when they
it
did that
sticks
fucking
in my head.
La Blago
I
thing
love it
takeaway
so
session
much.
where they go in the elevator.
In the elevator.
And like, I can't remember who, but they're like ripping out magazine pages to the
I'm
beat,
pretty sure
while
that's
someone
what-
else is pounding on the top of the thing. I'll always, whenever I hear that, I think about them in the elevator doing that version.
Yeah.
Now that being said, though, we've been talking about Arcade Fire for over an hour, and we've talked about these two albums a lot. Is anyone saying Neon Bible is number one?
No. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to make a statement right now. Neon Bible is my favorite Arcade Fire album. It's not their best album.
I think I can have said it better myself. Well, and then honestly, if that's how we're feeling about it, guys, here is the final ranking. Number 6.
It tears me apart. It's my favorite Arcade Fire album, too. But there's no contest. Like,
Right.
Funeral is, I don't know how you guys feel about it, probably easily within the top 5 albums for that whole decade. You could make the statement that it's the best.
It's in, like, I think it's, like, my top 3rd album ever. Like, literally, this is, like, one of my favorite fucking albums of all time.
Brilliant. It's a brilliant album. And like I said, just going back to what music really does to it, it just makes you feel some type of way the whole way through. Even the backseat, which kind of loses me a little bit. But you know what? Like,
You're still ready for that journey. It's still, you like the place.
Absolutely. It's absolutely a journey. I mean, from Tunnels, which is, I mean, I think I said Intervention is my favorite Arcade Fire song. Tunnels is right there. If they might be 1 and 2.
It's how you open an album.
Mine is Power Out.
Power Out's such a great song.
My favorite Arcade Fire song is easily Power Out.
The thing is, I remember being in high school and like you would have a conversation about like this album and like maybe it was like college or whatever, I don't know, but like I remember having a conversation about like your favorite neighborhood. Mine would be Tunnel, someone would be Leica, someone would be Power Out, and it was like, yeah, I mean, they're all,
no one would be Seven
really,
Kettles.
No, you can't win because
Right.
like they're all amazing tracks. They're all at this standard that we're actually talking about.
We didn't even talk about Leica.
We didn't even talk about Leica.
Leica's
That's how many
fucking
great,
amazing.
That's how many great songs are on this album. We're not even talking about Leica. We're an hour into this podcast. We even mentioned Leica. You're
So-
welcome. We're talking about Leica.
Number 6, Reflektor. Number 5, the Arcade Fire EP. Number 4, Everything Now. Number 3, The Suburbs. Number 2, Neon Bible. And the number 1 Arcade Fire, the song Cold Wind off of the 6 Feet Under soundtrack. I'm kidding. No, it's actually Funeral. Funerals are number 1. And guys, listen, as you can tell, we have a lot more to talk about beyond everything that we just did in the ranking podcast. That is why we have a happy hour mini-sub. That is why immediately after this recording, a happy hour mini-sub. But in the meantime, Ryan,
Hey,
thank you for being here.
Thank you so
You
much
added
for
so
having me.
much to this discussion.
Yes.
We had
Yeah,
debates.
you
We
were
had
amazing.
headlocking moments and moments of euphoria. It was fucking great. And
Thank
now
you,
he's
thank
now
you.
he's praying apparently for some reason.
yeah, I'm thankful.
All right. So anywho,
I'm thankful.
and I'm thankful.
Shouts out to all you guys.
I'm thankful for our
Appreciate you.
listeners who are going to go ahead and rate us on iTunes and find us on Stitcher and like our Facebook. Do all the things. Go on our Facebook. Post your own list of your favorite albums because we will debate you. Ryan will log onto the Facebook page and he will fight you.
I will tell you how wrong you are, and then come to your house and knock on your door and probably run away because I'm not going to fight.
Because he's a coward like that. But he will go through the gas money in order to get there.
I might wear my
That's how
kimono. I
dedicated.
didn't wear that tonight. It was raining out.
There's
I'm
got to
really-
be Komodo
yeah.
moments. In the meantime,
I'm
guys,
old-fashionable.
thank you for listening. Keep on listening. You know that we'll be Komodo guy over here, number 1. See you next time. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Nice.
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 Shouts out Robin Hill voice.
Wait, say something loudly.
Loudly.